Hello and welcome you all to this class of irrigation engineering. In the previous class, we have studied the introductory part of this subject. We have also studied what is the role of irrigation in our economy, and we have also seen the previous year data of agricultural contribution to our GDP. And since this agriculture industry is not new for us, we are doing agriculture since the world oldest civilization, that is Indus Valley civilization. Okay. So we have also studied the different the distribution of rivers, and you can say this river map of India, and what is the necessary of this irrigation project, why this irrigation project has to be set up, and how this works we have studied in the previous class. What are the different benefits, and apart from these benefits there are few limitations which we have also discussed in the previous class. So today we will study about this classification of irrigation schemes. So we can say that irrigation projects may range from a small farm unit to those serving extensive areas of millions of hectares. That is, so this scale of this irrigation schemes depends on what? Depends on demands capacity. Okay, so whatever the demand will be, according to that demand, the irrigation project will be set up. So on this different parameter, we can classify the irrigations project. Okay, so as you can see, these are the broad classification of irrigation projects. So we will study every each classification. So you can see this is the broad classification of irrigation projects. On several parameters, it is categorized. Okay, so first of all, we will study this. Basically, there are three different parameters on which this irrigation projects is divided. The first one is based on the cultivable command area. Okay, based on the way of water application, and based on the duration of water supplied. Okay, so we will study all these three categorization of this irrigation project. So the first term is based on the cultural command area. So first of all, we need to understand what does it mean, what does this cultural command area means. Okay, so suppose this is a village, any or any area. Suppose this is any area. Okay, suppose this is a village which require irrigation water, okay, for their agriculture purpose. Okay, so if this will be a village, so there will be some part for a habitation purpose where the people used to live. Okay, some parts are some ponds will be there, or something else will be there apart from agriculture purpose. Okay, so the whole area we can say this is what this the whole area can be said as gross area. This is gross command area. Okay, this gross command area. Okay, and in this gross command area there are some the people used to live. Okay, some for you can say for their towns or their houses, or any construction purposes, or any the villages are used to use for their purpose. Okay, and some ponds will be there or anything extra apart from this agriculture purpose. Okay, and some area which are designated for cultural purpose, agricultural purpose. Okay, for suppose this they use for farming. Okay, so all this apart from this agriculture area, this all this land. Okay, and in and apart from these two terminology, that for habitation and for pond or any natural things, apart from this there might be some area which is vacant but cannot be used for agriculture purpose. Why? Because this is what this is, you can say this is unfertile barren land. Unfertile barren land. Okay, unfertile barren land. Okay, so this all this area apart from this agriculture purpose, you can say that is called that is called what? That is called this unculturable unculturable area or unculturable command area, correct. And the area which is used for the agriculture purpose, correct, where the crop is grown, correct, that is called culturable command area. Okay, in due lecture of this course we will use this term culturable command area, we will designate as CCA. Okay, so from now onwards we will designate, or we can write this cultural command area as CCA. Okay, so on the basis of this CCA, this irrigation project is classified on three parts. You can say here the first one is what? Major irrigation project, the second one is medium irrigation project, and the third one is minor irrigation projects, correct. So we will study all these terms, major, medium and minor, correct. So the major one based on CCA, that is culturable command area. The first one is called what? Major irrigation project. Major irrigation schemes, you can also say major irrigation schemes or projects. Okay. So the irrigation schemes that is called major irrigation project when it is developed to serve the culturable command area more than 10,000 hectares. Okay, 10,000 hectares. If the culturable command area is greater than 10,000 and that is served by one project, irrigation project, then that project is termed as major irrigation projects. Okay, so first of all, I hope that you all know 1 hectare is equal to how much? 1 hectare is equal to how much? This 1 hectare is equal to 10 to the power 4 square meter. Okay, you can also designate this 1 hectare as 2.47 acres. Okay, I hope that you all are aware with these terms, units. So here this major irrigation projects are called those projects which serve the culturable command area more than 10,000 hectare. Okay, so these major irrigation projects generally have huge storage, huge reservoir or storage. Okay, huge storage or reservoir. Okay, and we know how can this huge reservoir can be made by constructing a dam. Okay, so in most of the cases this major irrigation projects have dams, correct. So in this major irrigation project, if there will be huge storage or reservoir, it means it will have a great water this great high scale of water available in this irrigation project, so that can serve more area, and you can see here that serve more than 10,000 hectares. So for serving all those areas, this irrigation project have large network of canals, large network of canals, correct. So and this major irrigation project, apart from this irrigation work, this irrigation project serve as a hydropower generation, correct, hydropower generation. So you can also call this major irrigation project as multi-purpose projects. Okay, so this was all about this major irrigation project. Now the second one is called what? Medium irrigation project. Medium irrigation project, and this is termed the irrigation project is termed as medium irrigation project when the culturable command area is greater than 2,000 hectare is greater than 2000 hectare but lesser than 10,000 hectare. Okay, then that project is termed as medium irrigation project, and the third one is minor irrigation projects. The third one is what? Minor irrigation project. Minor irrigation project. Okay, and this is called when the cultivable command area is smaller than 2000 hectare. Okay, this is termed the irrigation project is termed as minor project when the cultivable command area is smaller than 2000 hectares. Okay, and generally this type of irrigation project can be constructed by rising the water level. And how the water level can be raised of any river or any water supply? By constructing a weir or barrage. Okay, by constructing weir, or barrage. Okay, and what this term weir, what is the difference between dams, weir? We will see. We will study about in detail what is this weir, when this is called dams. Okay, so by constructing weir or any diversion dam, this minor irrigation project can be constructed. Okay, so but we can see these dams. Okay, so by constructing a dam, you can say that dams play a great role in Indian economy. Okay, so by constructing more and more dam, we can control the water supply, and we can enhance this irrigation projects or agriculture industry. Okay, so this major and medium irrigation project is further classified into two parts, as you can see in the previous slide. This major and minor irrigation project is further classified in two parts, that is direct irrigation method or indirect or a storage irrigation method. Okay, so first of all, just see some example of major irrigation projects in India. Okay, these are some major irrigation project in India. You can see on river Satluj, the Bhakra Nangal project, which serve for the two states, that is Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. Okay, and you can see the CCA is much greater than this 10,000 hectare as defined for this definition for major irrigation project. Okay, so there are many irrigation project, and you can see all this project by going on this Ministry of Water Resource website. Correct, you can see all the details of this project. Correct, so if you wish to see all this project in map, you can see here. Okay, and this map is slightly this map is slightly much earlier in this year of 2013. Okay, so in the recent year we have also many major irrigation project. Correct, so this is a slightly earlier map for major irrigation project of India. Correct, so as we discussed that major irrigation project is further classified into two parts, that is direct, first one is what? Direct irrigation project, direct irrigation project, and the second one is by creating some reservoir or tank or a storage. Okay, storage irrigation project. Okay, irrigation project. So in this direct irrigation project means, suppose this you can see in this figure also, suppose this is any river. Okay, you can see a river. Okay, so in direct irrigation project, what we do, we just divert this water, okay, into some canals or into some network of canal. Okay, so how we can divert the water of this main river? By constructing a small weir or barrage. Okay, so you can see here the picture of also this weir. Okay, this is the weir. By constructing some you can increase the water level in the downstream side by creating an obstruction. Okay, this is a very small scale, and it is called weir. Okay, so by constructing weir you can control the downstream water, you can rise this water level in this river. Okay, so by rising in this in the downstream of this barrage, so you can divert this water into the network of canal and it will directly go to the field. Okay, so this is called direct irrigation project. Okay, direct irrigation project means what? You can directly divert the river of water into the field by creating a weir or barrage. Correct? So there are abundance of weirs in our country. You can see by clicking this link, you can see there are abundance of weir in our country. Okay, so by clicking on this link you will you can see a state wise weir present. Correct? uh, and the second classification is what? Reservoir storage irrigation project. Okay, so in this figure you can see this is the blueprint, or you can say this is the schematic diagram of this direct irrigation. Okay, so just suppose this is the river. Okay, this is the river, this is the river. Correct? So by constructing a barrage or weir, we can divert obviously by if a weir is constructed, then at the downstream side of this weir, what will happen? The water level will rise, so we can divert that water into the number of canals. Okay, so the first canal is called main canal. From there the second canal is called distributary canals. Okay, then it will come to minor, and finally through outlet it will go to the field. Okay, that required where the water is required. Okay, this outlet here term is written as outlet. Outlet means this you can say this is the outlet. Okay, this serve as a head regulator. Okay, this outlet works as a regulator for the field. Suppose there is some gates or some regulator, whenever this field require water, then it can access water by regulating this outlet. Correct? So what is this sediment escape channel and this silt excluder? We will study in detail about this silt excluder and sediment escape channel. We will study in detail. There is a dedicated chapter for this topic. Okay. Now the second classification of major irrigation project is what? By creating some reservoir, dams or storage. Okay, so you can see here there are many dams in our country present. This is Tehri Dam, Koyna Dam. Okay, so by constructing this dam, so suppose this, if there is there will be dam, then what will happen? At the downstream side you can see there will be a big reservoir. Okay, and from there you can supply water wherever it is needed. Obviously the first preference will be given to what? Irrigation purpose. But apart from irrigation purpose, by through this dam, if the this reservoir is in a bigger scale, we can also use this water for industrial and domestic water supply. Okay, so this was all about this irrigation classification based on CCA, that is culturable command area. Okay, now on the basis of way of water supply, as we have seen in the previous slide, what this is, you can see here, based on the way of water application. Correct? The first one is gravity or flow irrigation scheme, the second one is lift irrigation scheme. Okay, so we will study what is both the type of irrigation project. So based on what? Based on the second classification is based on way of water application. Way of water application. Way of water application. Suppose a area which require water for irrigation purpose in its field. Correct? Now what happens? Suppose there is a problem of water in this area. There the groundwater is also not up to a certain depth, so it cannot extract water through this groundwater. Okay, so what will happen? This field needs water for the irrigation purpose. Then suppose there is a river here. Okay, there is a river. So by constructing a canal, okay, by constructing a canal, whatever it can take water from this river, correct? By constructing a canal, so this field can take water from this river. But when this canal, when the water will come from this river to field, when the river is at higher elevation, and when this field is at lower elevation, okay, then only water can flow through gravity. Okay, water can flow from river to this field through this canal, okay, by gravity action. Okay, so there will be no problem when the river is at higher elevation and this field which require water for the irrigation purpose is at lower elevation. So by constructing a canal, the water can easily flow to the field by the gravity action. But what happen when this field will be at higher elevation, will be at higher elevation, and the water supply which will be at lower elevation, then what will happen? Water cannot come through the gravity by itself. So what we can do, we can pump the water from here to here, okay, by pumping, or we can lift the water from here to here. Okay, so this is called lift irrigation scheme. This is called lift irrigation scheme. We can pump the water from lower elevation to the higher elevation for the agriculture purpose. Okay, but when the water flow through gravity, okay, then it is called what? Then that is called direct irrigation. Then that is called direct irrigation. Okay, I hope that is clear to everyone. The direct irrigation is what? When the water flow from this water supply to the field through gravity only. Okay, there is no no extra force which is required or extra energy which is required to flow the water. Okay, it comes with the gravity. Okay, but when the field is at higher elevation, then we need to pump the water from lower elevation to the higher elevation, and that project is called lift irrigation scheme. Correct. So that was about the way of water application. And the third one is what? The third criteria or the third classification is based on, you can see, duration of water supplied. Okay, so the first one is perennial irrigation scheme and the second one is non-perennial irrigation. Okay, so the third criteria is based on duration of water supply. Okay, the first classification is called perennial irrigation scheme or irrigation project, and the second one is non-perennial irrigation project. Okay, so the first of all we should understand the word this perennial means. So the perennial means, you can say the perennial means always, which is present almost all the time. That is called perennial. Okay, so just like, have you heard this perennial river? Okay, perennial river means the river which have water throughout the year. Okay, all the time that river will have water. That is called perennial river, like Ganga, Brahmaputra, that are called perennial river. Okay, and those river which have water only in the monsoon season and during the flood, that is called non-perennial river. Okay, Narmada, Tapti, Kaveri, Godavari, Falgu river, which is in the Gaya district, district of Bihar, that Falgu river, that is also a non-perennial river. Okay, so I hope that is perennial word is clear to everyone. The river which have water throughout the year, that is called perennial river. And non-perennial river means that the river that have water only for a specific time, generally in monsoon. Okay, that is called non-perennial river. So that canal or that suppose any irrigation project, suppose this is the river, suppose this is a river. Okay, this is a river. By constructing a weir, okay, you can supply, you can divert the water through canal into the field. Suppose this is the field, correct? You just for the timing you just understood this this diagram. Otherwise this is not we cannot provide directly from the river. Okay, there are main river, distributary river. Okay, but for the timing just understand, suppose this is the river. Okay, water is flowing. Okay, so by constructing weir you can divert the water into the field through this canal. Okay, but what happened when this river have no water? Correct. When this water, when there will be no water in this river, then obviously we cannot take the water will be not present in canal also. So that the perennial river, okay, the perennial river which have a weir or a small dam, a small barrage. Okay, so generally that is called non-perennial irrigation project. Okay, means the canal which does not have water throughout the year. Okay, or that irrigation project or that irrigation schemes which does not provide the water throughout the year, that is called non-perennial irrigation project. But the irrigation project which provide the water throughout the year, that is called perennial irrigation project. Correct. So generally if we create a big reservoir by constructing a dam, okay, then that can serve as a perennial irrigation project. Why? Because in the summer season we can take the water from that reservoir. Okay, we can use that water for the agriculture purpose. Correct, for the irrigation purpose. Then that is called perennial irrigation project. Okay, so sometimes this non-perennial irrigation is also called this inundation or flooding type. Okay, inundation or flooding time. Flooding time means when there will be flood or in the time of monsoons. In only that period that irrigation project have water only. Okay, so non-perennial irrigation project can also be termed as inundation irrigation project or flooding irrigation project. Okay, so I hope that classification of this flood is clear to everyone. Okay, now the last topic which I would like to cover, that is environmental impact of environmental impact of irrigation projects. Okay, what does it means? It means suppose for any type of project, whether it will be irrigation project or any construction, any road project or any man-made project have or any for constructing for any infrastructure, there will be some impact on environment. Okay, and majorly we are doing this irrigation project on a natural river. Okay, that ecosystem directly we are obstructing their natural flow. Okay, so obviously there will be some impact on ecosystem. So whenever we go for any irrigation project, we must consider all the negative impacts on the ecosystem. Okay, so because we can say all the water resources, okay, whatever it might be river or any natural water supply will have what we are basically doing, we are doing the obstruction in their flow. Correct, it means we are disturbing the ecosystem. Then obviously there will be some impact on environment. So we before going to any irrigation project or any infrastructure, we must check all the negative impact. We can say we must checklist you can see here, we must complete checklist. Okay, all this checklist of the adverse effect, or you can say negative impacts. Okay, we should go through all the negative impacts on the irrigation project, then compare all the impacts, what will be the output of that impact. Okay, consider all these things, adverse effect on the environment, then only go for any irrigation project and for any infrastructure project. Okay, so I hope you all you understood the classification of irrigation project, and whenever actually this basically this whenever we need according to the water supply, this irrigation project we choose, correct? Depending on the water demand, we select the irrigation project. Okay, so I hope the lecture is clear to you and you have understood the classification of irrigation project. Okay, so we will meet in the next lecture of this irrigation engineering with a new topic, correct? So thank you.